Andy and I are friends and were before he was an important congressman. Now he's a freshman congressman up there trying to do some good, and we're happy for that. And so welcome, guys.
Yeah, good to be with you, Dave. Of course, we're in the shadow of the Capitol, and Congressman, good to see you. We're thrilled to have you. I know that you're a limited government guy.
Oh, yeah.
You're here to fix a lot of that, and you don't want Congress' hands in the pot too much. But they've already created a big issue with the student loan crisis, with the federal student loan program. So, with congressional oversight, of all of the cabinets, and of course the Secretary of Education, and all that, I'm curious, what can Congress do? What should Congress do about the free flow of student loans?
Well, first let me say, the less government does, the better. I've never seen a problem that government can't make worse. But that being said, we're in this problem because of government. So the question is what do you do next? And so like you said, Dave, the payments are starting. And then just this Friday, the Biden administration has put out there another $39 billion in forgiveness. Now that'll end up in court. And so, but what they're doing is they're setting these false expectations to a problem that government, again, created.
Yeah, absolutely. So is the responsibility of Congress, should Congress say, let's lower the amount of loans? How would they do that? What would be a tactical way Congress could do that?
Well, just thinking off the top of my head, you could structure it much like, say, a state voucher program would be, is that you limit the number of dollars per student. So that's monies that's guaranteed from the federal government. Then you require universities to put in so much, a certain percentage. And so what you could do by that mechanism is really kind of slow the increase in tuitions. Because look, what's happened over time is the more guaranteed loans that you've had from the federal government, the more grants from the federal government, tuitions have gone up exponentially, and there's no reason for these big universities with billions of dollars in endowments to help students because they're feeding at the trough of government.
Andy, I'm curious, you and I have talked about this before, just as a personal conversation, but never on the air. As a freshman congressman up there, I have the gift of cynicism. So as I can't imagine how difficult it is to get that group of people to do anything. I mean, as a freshman congressman, do you feel there's any possibility we stem the tide of these student loans going out? Because, I mean, the number of dollars is just flowing right at 17-year-olds is out of control.
Yeah, and there's not, I don't think, a full comprehension of what's the long-term impact. Look, if you're going to be a doctor or an engineer or some of these high-income earners, your ability to pay that back is reasonable. But if you're going into sociology or a teacher, and those are noble professions, and you graduate with $250,000 worth of debt, your ability to pay that off is near impossible. I mean, you talk to about debt and income all of the time, and so the government is complicit to really putting people in a bad way. And like you said, these payments started today. That bill is now due, and there's no going back from that.
I'm curious, Andy, what would it take to actually end the federal student loan program? Dave always says on this show, if it's so bad we need to forgive them, why do we continue this? So what would it take on the federal level to make this go away?
Well, kind of, the idea of cynicism, making it go away at this point in time would be probably near impossible. But I think we could put some constraints on it, start reining in those dollars amounts, and really look to the universities to tap into some of their endowments themselves. Now, my phone is going to be blowing up tomorrow from all these universities because I'm telling them to spend their endowments. But that's what it's for, right? You shouldn't count on the federal government to pay your tuitions, to pay your bills. And look, we're a free market society. We should be a free market society. That's true for universities and colleges, and that's at a time when enrollments are going down. So again, the cost is becoming prohibitive for so many folks.
All right, now I'm friends with Andy, so I'm not really putting him under the spot here, but you said it's probably not going to happen. I would tend to agree. But technically, could the president, or is it a congressional decision to wipe the program out? Is it a vote? Is that what would have to happen?
Congressional action. And again, with divided government, by the way, can be a good thing when it's done in a thoughtful manner. Right now, it's very partisan, which is unfortunate. And so everything we do is just is a gunfight. But that being said, it requires a vote of Congress. That's when Biden tried to forgive the loans before. It ended up in court. The Supreme Court said, no, that you can't do that. And look, the power of the purse belongs to the House of Representatives. So we're the ones that has to dial it back. And like I said, when you look at all the problems problems, whether it's health care or transportation or student loans, the government, unfortunately, has a role in creating those problems.
So what I'm hearing, Dave and George, is in order to get Congress to dial it back, we should start dialing the hotline.
That's right.
Start throwing some people out, putting some good people in like Andy, and take back our economy and get rid of debt.
So a couple of weeks into your first term, are you more hopeful, or is this bigger problem than you thought it was serving up there?
Well, it's an honor to serve. You know, we're about 9 months in now, and we were talking offline. 435 members of Congress, and I'm not disparaging anybody, but there's really about 40 that are the firewall from just total spending anarchy and social anarchy. And of that 40 or 50, there's 20 of us that, if you look at the really tough votes, the really conservative votes, I'm not bragging, but my name's always on that list, and I'm dragging the conference to the right of saying, look, we've got to hold the line here. Look, I don't know, I know this isn't about immigration, but regardless of where you're at on that policy, we've got an issue at the southern border. Wherever you are on spending, we have an issue with debt, and we've got to rein this in, period.